Hey everybody, old folks here. I had a request for a Sue video, so I figured I would do that. I know there's a few others you guys have requested. Currently working on them. Just I try to make sure I can give you some good knowledge before I just throw a video out there. Still working on Sizo, doing videos once I have his awakening kind of almost done, so you guys can see that and give some thoughts on that too. But today let's look at Sue. Sue is a marksman. In the amazing amount of marksmen that we have, often the question is who's the best marksman. And a lot of that really kind of depends on your team and your play style. Let's kind of talk about real quick her equipment. Her equipment's the standard setup you're going to see on a lot of people. Honestly, this is pretty much my go-to, my Phantom's Edge. I don't like these because the computer's really bad about when they use it. It's not like I can say, okay, hit this immediately and I know I get it off. Sometimes they die before they use it. At that point, it's a waste. The attack speed one's kind of nice. Some people do use this with Sue. It really is a preferential thing depending on the team you're running. Again, this one's really not a great one for most people. And then if you're obviously into Orange 2, you'll see a few people running this. But for myself, I like the Last Grass. Again, I try to run something with life steal so that as I get lower, I'm able to heal myself back. So usually it's between these two that most people run it with. Skill-wise, Imprisoning Shot, this is her main thing you're going to think about when you see her. Basically, her basic attacks, they decrease the amount of energy gained by a target, so it slows down how much energy they're getting. Obviously, this is great to help prevent those tanks who are usually being hit by her from being able to use their ultimates. And then when you cast this, it does this massive, little thing, captures them, kind of removes them for a second, does damage. The great thing is if people are in that same area, they take damage too, so it can hit more than one person. Blast Shot, this is her knockback, does damage. It's kind of like Gears and his little knockback. It's a great thing, again, to kind of push the team back away, set up some great ultimates as well as other CC from your team, by minimizing how spread out the team is. Sometimes your tank can get to the mid row because it pushes them back into the back row before their tank runs back up. Deadly Shot, basically, this one here deals physical damage. But what's cool about this is that the energy gains by your normal basic attacks have been lower, then it causes extra damage proportionate to the target's max health limit. So on a tank, she's going to do more damage to a tank than she would, say, a mid-row support or something like that, because they don't have as much health. So again, she's really great about taking down the tanks because of that. Finally, her Crazy Shot. Every time that this Deadly Shot deals that bonus effect, her attack speed increases, and so you're getting a bonus to your attack speed. You're obviously decreasing their things. It's going to get Deadly Shot. You can kind of see how it all plays out. Again, that's why some people do use her with that equipment that we talked about here, wanting more attack speed versus the lifesteal. It's really a preference as to which one you want. Team composition, a lot of times you're going to see her in the standard ADC. Sorry, that was a League of Legends thing there. AD attack team. If they've got Monk's Son, a lot of times people run that, or they might run a Sealy. You're going to see her with the Mira. You're going to see her with Rek. A lot of times you'll see her with a Mira or Zoe. Sometimes you'll see her with a Zoe. You'll see her with a Gears. You'll see her kind of on that three-peat team, because then you've got 3 knockbacks, which gets crazy. So what happens is Sue knocks them back, Zoe knocks them back, Gear knocks them back, and you can just kind of see how that keeps juggling to that back line. And then, of course, that helps with Sue's ultimate, which, again, hits in that conal thing. Helps with Zoe's ultimate, which pulls them in together. And so, it's one of those kind of cool little things that you can do with 3 knockbacks. Again, you've got your tank that you're running. And then from there, your support, whether or not you run a Rek, which is your lifesteal and your healing, or whether you're running a Murphy. All kind of depends on the individual player. She is great, again, at melting through tanks. When you run her, you can really drain that other tank down quickly. And so that's what makes her really strong. A lot of people like her in the raid bosses because of the damage she does, and it's continuous, and that it's usually you're dealing against higher health, mobs. You're dealing against just boss stuff like that, so it does a lot more damage than you would imagine. Overall, she's not a bad character. I've got a buddy that uses her on this server, Crowbar, and she is a pain. Obviously, I run a beefy Kaiser, and it can do a lot of damage to him. I wouldn't say don't use her. I wouldn't say do use her. I'd say, think about your team composition. Again, like the one I mentioned with Zoe, with her, and with Gears, that gives you a lot of kickback. You throw in a Murphy, say the guy's got a smoke. You're going to be banging that guy everywhere. He's going to be trying to get to the team. He's coming to the he's going to be coming up to the little totems. You can run a totem skill captain team with this. So I mean, there's a lot of ways to help prevent your back line with that amount of knockbacks. Plus, she just melts people. Overall, I like her, but then again, I've only got so many slots that I can level up at a time. So hopefully, this helps you a little bit with her. Starring her up again. That's probably one of those other things. This is it. So it's really hard to get soul stones for. You can only get it at the really high one or the really low one, which means you're only going to be getting a few a day unless you're spending the gems to get that. So you're kind of dependent on that. I mean, it's just hard. It's not easy. You'll see some events for her that you can buy soul stones. So it's typically one of those power combos that you'll see in in the events tab. But that's why you don't see a lot of her. It's just it's not easy to get a lot of her soul stones. Again, if you got any questions or comments or team compositions you like, feel free to post them. Love all the comments you guys are doing. I can't believe we're up to 650 subs. Again, this was just something I did to help out my Alliance guys, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Looking forward to answering more questions, and thanks again for watching, guys. Have a great day.